like this were wide awake. It's times like this you shy away from me, babe. Started in the hotel lobby, cleaned up just to get too sloppy. Things I showed you, I can't try me. After a day like stand and watch the world go up in flames. We fight for love until we die in vain. When the sky is getting dark and we're broken in our hearts, when we build our own demise, from the ashes we will rise. When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? Be my solid ground. We look off the edge till the waves come crashing in, and we say our goodbyes to the ties that might have been. When the sky is getting dark and we're broken in our hearts, when we build our own demise, from the ashes we will rise. When the world is falling
Hello, everyone. My name is Isaac Sakos. I'm here with my boy Chelatron for Week 3 of Affliction Playoffs. We are looking at HyberNation versus Collective Odyssey in the lower brackets. Chelatron, how you doing today?
Zach, which I'm doing just fine, and I'm excited for this matchup between, like you just said, Collective Odyssey and HyberNation. Now, due to a bit of a delay in getting this game started, we will be seeing HyberNation, if I'm not mistaken, going ahead and forfeiting their first 3 bans of this first ban rotation. So we already know what Collective Odyssey is possibly going to be picking up here with their B1 pick. But just to give a quick little background of these two teams, these are two very highly impactful teams, two teams that want to fight early and often. Very, very bloody top laners. The Ouch Mouse for HyberNation, I think he plays a lot of top in his solo queue games, but now playing support. That's been his role for the last couple of weeks here in Affliction League. And as we do get these bans coming through with Collective Odyssey actually banning out the Seraphine themselves on their second ban, we're going to be looking at a situation where I'm going to be very interested to see what they decide to go through with their B1 pick if it's not Hecarim.
Yeah, that's really not what we were expecting, especially since how last week they got utterly demolished by the Seraphine. You know, you'd think they learned their lesson. You take Seraphine or you leave it up to the little guy, but banning it away is something that we definitely didn't see coming. Some good first pick options now that are pretty powerful. The Udyr and the Hecarim, while powerful, aren't as strong as an engager like that. So, man, what are you expecting to see? Because I can't imagine what's going through Collective Odyssey's head.
What I wasn't thinking I would see is a Trundle ban here. These are the nicest guys on the universe. First you ban Seraphine with your second ban, and then you ban Trundle with your third. I just can't imagine that Trundle was that high priority on their list to take away from just another, from Caxi actually here. I'm a lot of bit very confused about these bans coming out from the side of Collective Odyssey. So, I mean, I would think it'd be Hecarim, but after seeing those 2 bans, I'm just a little bit perturbed. But we do see that Spectral Horse. It does come through B1 for Collective Odyssey, but those bans had me scratch my head a little bit, though.
Yeah, we will be seeing the attempt of those big Onslaught of Shadows engages instead of the Seraphine. Now, as a counter to that, HyberNation are probably going to want to pick something a little bit either pretty safe that can deal with these kind of dive compositions that Collective Odyssey is going to set up, and Thresh is definitely one to take away.
Yeah, Thresh is an S tier support. The Thresh pick to me tells me that it's going to unlock Fiendfire to pick up one of these hyper scaling, hyper carry, 80 carries, kind of like a Jinx, maybe even an Aphelios. One of these champions that doesn't have as much agency, not a lot of mobility, not very safe. But with a Thresh, with that Lantern and that shield that comes through with the Lantern, you can be very safe there. Jhin wasn't what I was thinking of when I thought of great pairings with the Thresh, but Fiendfire, I do believe, does play this champion quite often. So we'll see how this works out for HyberNation, but the Thresh Jhin lane, it's not bad, but not exactly what you think about when you see Thresh as the R1 pickup.
Yeah, Emily or Fiendfire is really, really intensely committed to playing her Jhin her way. I wasn't really expecting a blind pick, as I had a conversation with her earlier, and she was telling me that blinding really wasn't a good idea. But I suppose without the amount of bans that you'd want, maybe it's go in for the risk, or maybe not at all. It is something that she's very comfortable on. Although we're seeing the answer with Victor and Poppy, which one being a lot more helpful with setting up those dives with Poppy, being that tank, applying even more engage, and Victor setting up for some of that map control when you're setting up for objectives. It really lets you control lane states and allows you to pressure all that kind of allows you to set up for that kind of those really important objectives.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, Victor's a champ that isn't a champ until he does get his evolves. but like around 100 CS. So he's not all that strong early, but in the mid and the late game, like you said, he has all that zoning, he has that wave clear. But with a Hecarim, it seems to me like when you pick a Hecarim, especially when you pick it B1, it's to set up that you're going to be diving a lot. You want to have hard engage. You want to be going forward. You're pressing forward all too often in these engages and in these fights. But the Victor to me is kind of like insurance to like, okay, well, if the early game doesn't go that well, then we also have this pretty well scaling mage in the mid lane. We can maybe set up a 4-1, maybe even a 1-3-1. I'm not sure just how Turbo Stainer does play this Poppy. We're gonna find out very, very soon. But this could also even be support Poppy. But I expect it to go in the top lane. I really want to see how the rest of this competition does round out, because these first two champs, maybe Poppy to a certain degree, but not really. They are trying to do things that Hecarim is not exactly wanting to do in this comp. But we are gonna see Golem play this Darius, which is a very strong champion, going to be getting very stronger in the next patch. He does have that execute on the dunk. So if Hecarim does go in and doesn't have enough people to come in with him and help him out, then we will be seeing some pretty strong counter engages from HyberNation.
Yeah, Darius is certainly a really strong front line, one that you really don't want on your carries or your backline at all. He's gonna be a really tall order for that Hecarim to be able to catch out, especially with the disruptive E pulling Hecarim and it's slowing him for a little bit. Given Golem does play this champion quite a bit, but I'm already a little concerned because you've got these two comfort picks on the. Okay, and we get a Yorick for some reason. This probably prompts and tells me that we're probably going to see one of these two champions piloting in the jungle on Caxi, but who that's going to be is the bigger question. Potentially we might even get a Darius mid, but I think it's really, really a little bit early to be drafting that way in this composition, especially when you had the opportunity to, you had the Thresh, you had the setup. It's kind of strange. And then we're going to see Jinx Nautilus for the bot lane of Collective Odyssey to answer that Jhin.
Yeah, okay. So, like you mentioned earlier, said that Fiendfire does love the Jhin, doesn't want to play it blind, was able to get those two bans. It seems like HyberNation understands what their win con is. Make sure that Fiendfire is comfortable in that bot lane. Got rid of the Kai'Sa, got rid of the Sivir. Two S-tier ADCs in the meta right now, but they did not get rid of the S-iest of the S-tier AD carries, and that is the Jinx, and Jinx is a hyper carry. Jhin can be strong if Jhin can get ahead in the early parts of the game, but if you don't get ahead, and if you're behind at all from this Jinx, then you are just a tickle monster. You just really won't be doing all that much until the very, very late stages of the game. But I can't even spend that much time speaking on the AD carries, because like you mentioned, we do have Darius and Yorick, and then Lilia gets locked in. I won't lie to you, I don't like either one of these comps. Neither one of these comps, okay, for Collective Odyssey, Hecarim wants to go in. These other champs don't want to go in. He's gonna be pressing E and R and maybe even Ghost, maybe even his Kim Tank. And who's gonna follow him in? Nautilus? Where's the appeal for Jinx? Victor? He doesn't follow anyone into a dive. Poppy? I mean, maybe she's tanky, but I just don't think that's the. If you have a duo going in to the comp of HyberNation, which does have a Lilia, which does have a Yorick, which does have a Darius. I mean, these are all champs you don't want to go in on, and Collective Odyssey has a champ in the jungler who has to go in. His whole kit is based on sprinting his way into the enemy composition. You have to be the most mechanical gods on earth to be able to assist just another guy on this horse. And I mean, going into a Darius, a Yorick, and a Lilia. I mean, this all has to come down to the laning phase, right? First of all, where's Yorick going? I'm assuming it's going to be going top lane. Unless we can see a lane Lilia. I won't lie. Unless we see that there are some changes in the there are no changes. I don't like the composition of HyberNation. I only respect it because Collective Odyssey drafted a comp that doesn't really synergize with what their jungler wants to do. So I mean, in a vacuum, HyberNation's composition, I don't think it does too well. The only non-melee champion you have is the Jhin, and he has to get ahead to be even impactful. And then for Collective Odyssey, there's just a hodgepodge of different things that these champs want to do, how they get these things to work together in team fighting post plates. We're gonna have to find out how it works out for them, and if they're able to just smash their lanes against these in the top 2 solo lanes, then they could have a fairly decent shot. But I don't think Poppy wins the matchup against Yorick or Darius, or at least has a ton of pressure. And Victor isn't a champ that has a ton of pressure regardless. So this is gonna be what I think to one of the most coin flippy games in a round 3 of a playoff series in amateur play ever, probably.
Yeah, this may be this is so clearly a race for the late game. Which, are you getting Jin ahead first, or is Collective Odyssey going to get the Jinx ahead first? Who's, you've got to get your carries into position to blow up these team fights because they don't even answer each other. You've got Hecarim and Nautilus for that engage, and potentially Poppy for the dive potential. But it's not like Victor's a champion that's set to roam. He's on wave clear duty. Jinx, like you said, where's her appeal? Meanwhile, on HyberNation side, you have sure you've got the Jin for that large backline, but where's any of the support for that backline? You're going to have Thresh looking for the engages. You'll have Darius and Yorick on the front line, in the front line and looking for the backline constantly, and you'll have Lilia also looking for those large engages for those 5-man sleeps, setting up for the Jin. It's just a lack of peel on both sides. So we're probably going to have to see. We're going to have to see from both of these junglers immediate attention onto the bottom side, or at the very least, attention in the 2v2 mid situation to help them, to help them roam and set up those large dives. And if they can make those dives successful, if they can make those dives work, then potentially you'll be able to snowball these kinds of compositions. But certainly these are not the kind of compositions that we would typically expect.
And that's the thing, right? Because when you look at Collective Odyssey's champions in their solo lanes, Victor and Poppy aren't really trying to dive. And then you look at HyberNation, it's like, are you really trying to dive a Yorick or a Darius? Like, if you really want those problems, are you really gonna burst them down while under tower with a Victor and a Poppy? I feel like HyberNation has to wildly misposition, get caught out in the middle of the lane, and get flanked early and often in order for them to really be caught out and caught slipping. I mean, it's going to be really hard for them to actually die without them making a bad mistake, killing themselves effectively. But we do see these picks come in. The Darius will be top lane, Yorick will be mid, and this will be my first time seeing Yorick mid in a minute, honestly. But
you've seen it before?
I mean, in solo queue you see a lot of things. In solo queue you see a lot of things. Never in competitive. But I have seen Yorick. I've seen. I get PTSD. I get Vietnam flashbacks from things I've seen in solo queue. But at least you do have the synergy between Lilia going with Darius. That could be a pretty good wombo combo. But Poppy is the ultimate peel champion. She has self peel. She just presses that R button and you're 8 screens away. I'm just a little bit perplexed at how these two teams drafted compositions that should never win, but against each other, I mean, you might just smurf the game away. The biggest thing, like you mentioned, though, is the race to the late game. Johnny Show and Jin. If Johnny Show gets ahead in this matchup early, I mean, it's just going to be a foregone conclusion because Victor scales very, very well. And you have Jinx and Victor. That is sustained damage over time. And there's not a lot of real sustained damage for this side of HyberNation. Now, if Darius gets ahead or Yorick, you can have some problems. I guess the biggest thing for me is that I just have never thought of these 10 champions in the game together, and the 5 on each side just confuses me to no end. And you can be in a really bad spot as HyberNation if you can't get ahead early, because you do no damage. You can just get kited out by Victor and Jinx for all eternity, unless you just dive in and hope you win the fight.
Yeah, well, I suppose we're gonna have to see what ends up happening. I'll be honest, Charlotron. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to is the way that they're gonna handle level 1s. I feel like HyberNation specifically are in a position where they can almost abuse the fact that they have a Darius and a Yorick and a Lilia, and just say Golem takes Ghost and goes all in. I feel like they can get a pretty early advantage if they go as 5, along with the Ouch Mouse hook, there's not a lot of answer from the side of Collective Odyssey in terms of early game. You've got Poppy W, but that's not going to stop very much, especially considering Ouchmouse has the only dash in the entire game apart, on the side of HyberNation. Hecarim at level 1 isn't going to want to start E or anything. Victor isn't going to want to start W. Jinx isn't going to want to start traps. Although, if they even decide to fight, if she gets caught and doesn't end up having that, she's going to, or any peel from the Nautilus or the Poppy, which early game won't provide all too much, Nautilus being the most, but I don't know. Early game is not, I don't think is going to look too good for the side of Collective Odyssey, but I guess we'll see as we hop into game. You're certainly right. You may have seen a number of things in solo queue to give you Vietnam flashbacks, but hopefully these games won't, and we'll get into the game in a little bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are now in game with Collective Odyssey versus HyberNation. The fight to continue in the lower bracket. Now, I'm really interested to see these level 1 strats. It looks like we're going to get a 5-man mid from Collective Odyssey, but nothing's going to come of it as they're spotted, but the hook is going to land on the Booty Bang and Billy, although there's no follow-up.
Yeah, no, I would have thought that Booty Bang and Billy, who, by the way, looks to be making his way to the mid lane. So we will potentially be seeing, we're going to see Yorick in the mid lane. It could be top. We'll see if he tries to swap lanes. Maybe not. So we're going to be seeing a Yorick mid with teleport and Flash, Ghost, Darius in the top lane. We'll see just how Caxi does want to path. Starting at the blue, going to be pathing up top to help out Gollum in his lane and maybe make a move onto this Poppy very, very early. But I was kind of surprised that Booty Bang and Billy did not spot out that 5-man push to the mid lane. I thought they were probably on vision because he was kind of pushed out in the lane, and I mean, they're just all 5 right there. I think he could have probably seen and gotten away. But we all do know that Nautilus hook has an insane hitbox, so I can't really blame him too much. Both bot laners, no, actually, we're going to be seeing a opposite sides of the map for these guys. Just another guy in Hecarim going to start his red, pathing topward, and Caxi switched up last second and went to the Raptor camp and is going to be starting at her top side, making a move bot to help out Fiendfire and Ouchmouse.
Yeah, it looks like just another guy is actually going to be doing a full clear on Hecarim, going straight to his Krugs. I'm not too familiar with the clears from Hecarim, but I believe like when you do go straight to Krugs, that indicates either a full clear, or if you go straight to blue from there, then you gank top lane. You know, being a top laner has its sad times, and it looks like Golem is prepared for that, putting a ward in the river in preparation for that kind of pathing. But looks like he's going to be spotted out as he's potentially looking for a level 2. Doesn't know that there's a ward, and Eggnog going to look for a hook, not going to hit it. Ooh, now, vertical jungling.
Yeah, well, this is definitely gonna be an invade, but he wasn't spotted out, so I was a little bit. I guess Booty Bang and Billy. No, I'm guessing Fiendfire and Outmouse came to lane a little bit early, and they just showed that they weren't gonna be helping out and unleashing this blue buff that is now gonna be stolen by the horse, and he won't even be spotted out on the Gromp either, as Caxi does decide to start and hit the wolves first, so he'll be very, very far behind in this jungle pathing, and it's going to be a triple buff for the Hecarim as these 2 top laners just go ahead and boost their damage stats for the post-game report.
Looks like the junglers are finally going to meet each other. Just another guy is looking to trade on to Caxi as the W comes in to slow him down, but the flash is going to be expensed anyways. And it looks like we're getting into a pause. Now, man, that flash I'm not quite sure was necessary afterwards, but you know, running away from a ghosted Hecarim is certainly scary, so I understand it.
Yeah, and if that was Ghost with the phase rush. Now, I think if he had Hecarim, if he had a Conqueror, that's probably a kill there. But either way, you probably want to be safer than sorry. You did just get your blue and your Gromp stolen from you, giving over 400 more gold to that Hecarim, who will also take his own Wolf Gromp and blue buff. Is not something you want to do this early in the game as a Lilia. You already do lose this matchup, so you just want to go ahead and get with your flash and say you want to live to fight another day. Your Raptor's coming up very, very soon, and this is just a very great proactive jungling from just another guy for Collective Odyssey.
Yeah, already down a whole 100 gold, particularly because he went straight from red to Krugs to the enemy blue side, so they each got around 4 camps. So only now will they start to kind of catch up in their own experience, although the Caxi will finally make his way to a Scuttle Crab and then potentially look to invade just another guy's blue side finally.
He'll get some help from Gollum here, who's going to use the Scryer's Bloom and see that, wait, all these camps are up. He's probably going to help out and bring this blue out a little bit. No, he doesn't actually hit it at all. Maybe a little bit too risky to try to invade this Hecarim. But with Booty Bang and Billy having Prio in the mid lane, you have all the help you could think of to make a move and 3-man this horse in here. But you just want to play it safe on Caxi, on this Lilia. Just take your Krugs, be happy with what you got right here, and continue this game. Now, just another guy is foregoing farming to make another move on a gank.
Looks like he's headed up in the top side, just going to be spotted out in a quick, just little nod with the top and jungle duos. Meanwhile, in the bot side, Johnny Show and Eggnog pushed up, not all the way to under the tower, which is probably what they were hoping for, to deny some of that CS. But looks like Fiendfire and Ouchmouse are going to be able to safely farm and continue pushing the wave with full mana and full HP. It's interesting. Oh, yeah, continue.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's interesting to see Fiendfire start having the boots and the 4 pots, which is a lot safer than something that you'd typically see, like the D shield or potentially even the D ring, being that little bit more aggressive, a little bit more farm heavy. But I suppose Fiendfire trusts herself a lot more with the amount of experience she has on that champion.
Oh yeah, when you go Fleet Footwork and not Dark Harvest, and you go boots for pots, you just want to go ahead and you're just gonna try to absorb pressure, right? You're in the lane. You're not trying to get any. You don't have kill pressure, honestly, against a Jinx and Nautilus. Yes, you have that Thresh, but you're not gonna be all that strong enough to make a move onto them, especially aggressively. Make a move on them. So you're saying, okay, I'm going to stay safe, I'm going to stay healthy, and honestly, you don't really have much you can do to me here as long as I do have this Thresh to back me up and help me out and make sure I'm always gonna be safe in this lane. You're able to scale up to the mid-late game and have a pretty decent lane phase. Now, one thing I want to mention about the pathing of just another guy and the way he played the game, he played it extremely proactively, very aggressively, but I feel like he was a little bit too aggressive going for all these ganks because he had very great timings on the camp reset. So he went in, took his red side, went into Caxie's blue side, and then could have had his own camps in his blue and had the resets for all 3 of those. But he went ahead and tried to make a gank on top, which left
Looks
his
like
camp.
there's going to come a gank in mid lane. Ouchmouse not going to hit the flash hook, but meanwhile Golem is looking for an E, but not going to land it as he continues the ghost and the dive and the ulti, but he's not going to end up getting the kill. Ends up getting a flash out of Yellow Swag, but ultimately in vain, committing 3 people, well, three extra people to that lane, as well as both summoners from Golem.
Yeah, you went ahead and you tried to get a really big party in the mid lane, and it just did not work out. And that's just really great for Yellow Swag. He did have to blow his flash, came back with the teleport there. But I mean, when you don't give up your life in that 400 gold, you're gonna feel really good, especially since you are ahead in CS. In this matchup, you already have the boots for you, so you're stronger and you're faster right now. But with this dragon on the board, 8 minutes in, we're going to see whether or not the side of Collective Odyssey will be able to make a move onto this objective. They seem to be getting pretty decent prio in the lane. They want to go ahead and shove this. And, oh yeah, this is going to be sniffed out here.
Unfortunately, just another guy's going to get caught out by the trap. Yellow Swag was also on his way down, but it looks like they're just going to transition up to that dragon. Yeah, Caxie's on the other side of the map. Not much will be done, and they'll start up the dragon, hit it a few times, and take an early mountain dragon lead. Oh, it looks like Ouchmouse is actually walking up. He's going to hit the hook onto Johnny Show. Johnny's alone, going to be forced to flash, and that's going to be all the aggression we're going to see from the bot lane for now.
You do hate to see that when you're the jungler and the support taking an objective, and your ADC decides to step up in the lane against a Jinx. Like, you think to yourself, wait, or against a Thresh, you think to yourself, wait, come on now. You know we're on Dragon, we're making very good moves here, and you blow your flash for really, 2 CS? Not feeling all that great here. Caxie very low in health, but with the help of Golem on this Darius, they will be able to trade objectives here. Hold up.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna hit a hook onto Booty Bang ability. Eggnog with the engage, but Yellow Swag not really quick enough to follow up. Meanwhile, just another guy hitting onto Ouchmouse, gonna get stunned up, and Caxie gonna put to sleep Eggnog, but the answer's not there as the double kill comes through, and the Jinx Rocket Mollywop is gonna take one down.
Yep, Jinx getting the assist there, and 2 kills for Yellow Swag here on the Victor. So you do get the Herald if you are Caxie, but you do pay for it with your life on the back end. It was a gank and a countering gank, a counter gank. Eggnog was coming through, but did not see or did not care about all those members coming up behind him. And I mean, now you have a very strong Victor and even stronger Victor who is accelerating. This is what you don't want when you're going up against these scaling champs who want to go into the late game. And if they have a much stronger early game that only accelerates them and adds to the problems you're gonna have later, but only it gets pushed sooner. And if Yellow Swag and Johnny Show becomes stronger than they really need to be before their actual timers usually are, then if you are HyberNation, you're gonna be put in a pretty bad spot because, like we mentioned, they don't really have any sustained damage. Their only champion that is ranged is this Jinx. Now Jinx is doing all right in lane, down 20 CS, but this is not what you want to see if you are HyberNation right now. You're gonna want to try to play a little bit safer. Maybe use this Herald to try to get your Jhin ahead a little bit. But hold up.
Yeah, it looks like Eggnog is also in the mid lane, gonna hit him with a Q and ulti. The dive is gonna get him, and Booty Bang and Billy is also gonna get caught out. The W will not be enough. The Wall of Souls is not gonna keep them at bay.
No, it will not, and that's going to be a kill over to the Hecarim. Very great engage there. I mean, you commit 3 members to get Booty Bang and Billy, get him out of this lane. Was pretty even in CS, but this is going to be a shove straight into the turret, which does already have a plate down. Probably going to see another plate go down for all is said and done. But yeah, just very great proactive play on the map from just another guy. And this is, I mean, when you're watching this team get ahead, this is not what you want to see if you have HyberNation because, once again, your composition just does not work all that well. Especially when you have a Darius and a Yorick. We'll see how it works out in the mid game, which is coming up pretty soon. And with 2 minutes on this next dragon, they'll have to get pretty strong pretty fast. Gonna have to see where Caxi drops this Herald because someone has to be able to carry a fight, right? And
looks like Caxi's actually here, spawning the Herald. I was concerned whether, where or when they were going to use it, be it for the Yorick, for the split push, or for Fiendfire. But it looks like they're going to put down the place just before it runs out as they potentially back for the dragon that's coming up in just under a minute and a half.
you know what? Now we look at the CS across the board. Just another guy was very strong in making moves very early. Hold up. Looking
That's caught up. Caxi is actually going to catch out the Victor with the sleep, but nothing else is going to come of it as the Ghoulies are too far away and Yorick is a little too slow. Meanwhile, Golem in the top lane just blowing trays with Turbo Stainer. He's going to proc the Ghost, but he's going to be bopped away.
That is a great way to go ahead and trade your ultimate for a summoner out of Golem. I'm not sure just how much kill pressure there was there on the Poppy, but still, it's real tilting to pop one of your summoners and then you get just booted away 30 million miles across the map by a Poppy. So that's a very good trade of timers.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the ulti is going to land onto Fiendfire. She's going to get knocked up. Meanwhile, the Jhin is going to get popped by the Victor ulti. The storm of Hex Tech is going to pop. And Ouchmouse is left alone in the bot side, leaving priority to Collective Odyssey.
And this is really great macro and really good decision making from the side of Collective Odyssey. They know what the win con is, right? They're thinking to themselves, okay, if we can just shut down and make sure that this bot lane, this Jhin, does not get to play the game, we force HyberNation to depend on Golem and Booty Bang and Billy. Yorick getting that plate in the mid lane, okay, you have a plate on Yorick. Actually, no, not even a plate. You weren't able to had that much time there when he pushed that wave in. So you get this gold on Booty Bang and Billy and Golem. You think to yourself, okay, well, if y'all want to carry the game, if y'all want to be the ones to do that, then be my guest. You can try if you want to, but you will not have that backline at all in that Jhin.
Yeah, one thing I want to note that's interesting, while we're seeing these little blows on the top side, actually Golem's going to get a little bit low. He's going to walk away. One thing that's interesting is Booty Bang and Billy's item of choice. He looks like he's opting in for that Triforce. Although the Omni Stone is a little bit more popular, looks like he's going in a little bit for that Triforce buff bait, which, despite, yes, it's been buffed, and Yorick was also buffed, so naturally you'd think that those two go hand in hand. However, that Divine Sunderer, that's still the primary item that you want to go. It helps you do a lot more damage. It helps you heal a lot more when you're split pushing, when you're dueling someone, and it's gonna serve. It would serve him better. Better off in fights. Doesn't look like it though. Meanwhile, the Collective Odyssey is going to be taking the Infernal Drake, leaving it to be either a Cloud Soul or an Ocean Soul. Looks like it's going to be Ocean.
It's a good soul for both these teams, and it's very great for Collective Odyssey because they have way better sieging. How are you going to stop the siege coming out of Collective Odyssey with a Darius and a Yorick? I mean, you have no real ability to do that at all. If you are HyberNation here, but I mean, I don't hate Trinity Force on Booty Banging Billy. Yes, Sundra does have more. You get more health, and I'm pretty sure the Sheen proc is a little bit weaker than Trinity Force, but with all the attack speed you get, and with it proccing on turrets, it does feel pretty good to have that if you are a Yorick. But I mean, if you're going to be split pushing, then fine. That's even less of a front line for Fiendfire on this gen. You kind of let go of really doing anything in this game. How are you going to win a fight? I mean, you're going to be behind regardless. So it's going to be really... Hold up, Eggnog.
Looks like Eggnog's going to catch Caxi out of position, trying to clear a ward, but not going to be able to get away as the ulti is going to catch him out. Meanwhile, Booty Banging Belly going to get destroyed by the Jinx Rocket. Caxi's going to be able to get out, although Golem is still on the chase. Going to get ultied away by Poppy, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, Golem, if I was Golem, I'd be feeling really, really tilted every time you want to make a move on the map to secure some kind of fight. It's Turbo Stainer pressing his R button and saying, no, you don't get to play the game right now, Golem.
Looks like they're going to walk up blind into the vision. Golem's going to get stunned up against the wall and then immediately annihilated by just another guy who opted into the chem tank. Caxi, meanwhile, looking for the escape, looking for the Qs to be able to get away. Just might do so, but no, as another swipe comes in from the Horsey of Death. And that's going to be priority for the Heralds, for Collective Odyssey, and Dominion over this topside jungle.
Yeah, 2 kills. The top and the jungler both die, trying to make a move onto a Hecarim and a Poppy, who are pretty ahead. Now, Poppy isn't ahead in farm or in items, Booty Banging Billy, in a bit of trouble, but
a little low.
Yeah, gonna be all right here just to farm. But this is the problem with the composition.
Oh, he's getting really low. He was not gonna be able to finish.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He really flashes away. He's so low.
Wow, and this is the problem with this composition, right? You really don't have a chance to kite. You're gonna get caught out. You're not faster than the comp of Collective Odyssey. You don't have more range than them. Your damage may be better if they were all melee champions sprinting into you, which just another guy does like to do. We have seen him do that several times in this game. But when you're Darius and Yorick, and then a behind Lilia, you're just not going to be hitting the same exact way that you're not going to be doing. It's not an optimal composition here. And with Jinx being ahead of Fiendfire, and with a yellow swag on this Victor, already a monster on the Rift, which, okay, Herald here, the tier 1, would have rather seen them go ahead and hit that themselves. It's like at 1 HP already.
Yeah.
But just fine. It's not even for an objective either.
Yeah, at the very least, it kind of drops a turret, even if they could have sieged it themselves. You know, I don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe the timing was up, and they could have used it, you know, afterwards to get, you know, pressure for mid lane. That was pretty strange.
They could have used it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things additionally of note, like you were talking about how far ahead the Victor was. You know, he's ahead, I believe, 2.3 thousand gold, a little bit more because of that turret takedown, and he's barely got his Magi stacked up. This Victor is going to be an immeasurably strong monster to deal with. I feel like this is something HyberNation overlooked and is certainly not going to overlook later on in games further, because this Victor is going to do an immense amount of damage, especially considering, you know, you've got 3 squishies who aren't even going to prioritize magic resistance anymore. Like, you've got Ouchmouse going tabbies for the Jinx, but it's only for the Jinx, and even if that's not the one ahead right now, it's really not something that it's really something that I think they have to worry about even more. Ouchmouse is actually going to land the hook on just another guy. Caxi not going to find the swirl seed, so they're just going to try to run. But it looks like Eggnog is going to force the flash out of the Ouchmouse by using her own. And that's going to be another dragon priority set up from Collective Odyssey.
Yeah, now there is vision in the form of a control ward here for HyberNation. That doesn't really mean much of anything. Hold up.
Oh, another hook's gonna land onto the from the ouch mouse. Just another guy getting caught out. Meanwhile, Golem actually being ulted away. But the sleep is gonna land onto 3 as Eggnog finds his way nearly dead. The heal gonna heal him. The Maiden is actually gonna drop. Meanwhile, Golem has made his way back to the fight, but he's just gonna get bursted up by the Victor. YOLO Swag with a double kill, finishing off Caxi. And that's going to be Ocean Dragon.
Ocean Dragon. Yeah, Ocean Drag, 30-second death timers. You really don't need all 4 members here. You could just go to Baron if you really want to. Because, honestly, this is what happens. That was a very great engage. That was the best engage you could have hoped for. I think you said it was 3-man sleep. I think it might have been 4, but either way, it doesn't really matter because there's no follow-up. What can anyone do once Caxi presses R? You have a Darius and a Yorick. I mean, how you not unless you're flashing in and trying to one-shot Yellow Swag or Johnny Show, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. And with how tanky Hecarim is, you're not really gonna one-shot him. I mean, everyone on this team is either extremely strong or too far away from you to actually reliably be able to make a move onto long enough to kill. If you are the side of HyberNation going into Collective Odyssey, you just have no real shot. There's no kill pressure, really. I mean, you have strong champions, right? Trinity Force on Booty Bangin' Billy is a strong power spike. Golem with the Strike Breaker is a strong power spike on this Darius. But it doesn't matter when you can't even pretend to look the damage doers in the eyes. Yellow Swag is free, hitting 5-0 and 5, 17 stacks on the Medjais. He had 3 a second ago. Here's this.
Ooh, looks like Eggnog has made his way onto Golem. He's gonna look for the escape, but nothing's gonna come of it. As the 3v1 doesn't matter when you can't heal, but he's gonna land a little bit. But is he going to be able to get the chase? No, he doesn't do enough damage to get in return. And meanwhile, Fiendfire on the other side of the map gets obliterated by Yellow Swag. Now with the 21 Medjai stack. Ouch Mouse, going to find the hook. But no support is here, as Caxi is just walking all the way around, looking for the yellow brick road, not going to find it, just looking for a Swirl Seed. And yeah, this lead has just become too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is Collective Odyssey playing with their food here, just clearing out vision and whatnot. They could really reliably go for Baron anytime they wanted to. They could 1-3-1 if they want to. They could go for Baron. But they're just going to sit 4-man in the mid lane while Jinx takes their red. That's Johnny Show. I mean, you can set the 1-3-1 at any point you really want to. You can do, honestly, whatever you want to on the map as a whole. But they're going to be content to set up a Death Brush right here outside the Raptor camp.
You know what? I think HyberNation is going to fall for it. Caxi looking like walking right into it. Going to find the Swirl Seed, but not going to find his life after getting away and dying. And looks like that's going to be their chance for Baron. Collective Odyssey, with the enemy's jungler down, just gonna start this up.
A jungler down, and you see Booty Bangin' Billy with TP up. What is this in the bot lane farming? I mean, they know they're on Baron, but what are they going to do, right? Who is going to make a move on the Baron, and at what point? No one. So, I mean, 15 kills to 1. Ooh, the curtain call. A little bit too late. You're not going to see anything. There's no play. There's no movie being shown for this curtain call. The only thing you can see on the map is a 10k gold lead at 23 minutes. But even more impressively than that is a 14 kill lead for Collective Odyssey here. I mean, the only person who's died is his support, and he's been a part of 11 of the 15 kills for Collective Odyssey, so he's looking just fine. Just great hooks out of Eggnog on this Nautilus. Great engages. We've even seen him have some very good counter ganks in the laning phase, making his move up from bot lane to the mid, and this is a very, very destructive game. Now let's keep it real here. We can maybe attribute some of this domination to the fact that HyberNation did show up a tad bit late, so they didn't have 3 bans to go through in this game in the first phase of banning. So they may have tried to get rid of Johnny Show's Jinx. They may have tried to get rid of a Hecarim perchance, maybe even a Victor, maybe. But the ban phase doesn't affect who you pick, right? Like, you can ban champions, but you can still pick good ones. You can still pick good champs in your composition. And I just feel like whether or not, I mean, you just picked. This wasn't a good decision from whoever is doing the drafting for HyberNation. This is a good team, and I know the drafts have not been like this historically throughout this league. So we're gonna have to definitely be looking forward to seeing them with a much more impactful, a much more reasonable draft in the next game.
It looks like Caxi gonna find Turbo Stainer, but Turbo Stainer dealing a lot more damage than he can take. Golem, meanwhile, is going to find his way onto the Victor, letting the Fiendfire shut him down as the chase is still on Turbo Stainer. Caxi not going to be able to let the Swirl Seed hit, but the W coming out from Jin, getting the snare. And Turbo Stainer going on to Caxi, not going to be taken down as the heal comes out from Jin. Meanwhile, Turbo Stainer going down, and a decent little skirmish for HyberNation.
Yeah, that was just disrespecting the amount of damage that can come out there. And with Dragon up, hold up.
No, it didn't matter. Booty Banging Billy is also caught out on the bottom side. He thought he was safe to split push, but Just Another Guy and Eggnog were here to take him on. Looks like Just Another Guy is going to take quite a little beating from the Maiden and the Qs coming out from Booty Banging Billy, but it doesn't matter in the end as the Baroned Up minions prove a little bit too much. However, on the other, on the offhand, that distracted Just Another Guy a little, just enough to allow HyberNation to start taking some of these Ocean Drags from themselves, get a little bit of, prove a little bit of that momentum a little bit further, and potentially ease up on this 10k gold lead, 9k gold lead.
Yeah, really all that HyberNation did was buy themselves 5 minutes. That they got that dragon because Collective Odyssey just did not respect what was going on in the top lane. Multiple members off vision, and they just did not see the collapse come in there. And Fiendfire, with all that gold coming in, once she is able to back, we're gonna see there it is. Lord Dom's on the map for it. The Zeal is in the back pocket as well. So Fiendfire will be able to be hitting a lot more, and Lord Dom's has impeccable value in this game with the Poppy, you have the Hecarim, you have the Nautilus. You're going to be doing so much more extra damage based off of, what's it called, Giant Slayer, with the percent of health they have on you with the champions. So there will be, so there's no more Tickle Jinx right now, right? Or Tickle Jin, right? But that still doesn't do much when you have your Darius or your Yorick getting Poppy ulted away, or Jarny showing Yellow Swag just freeing on the back line, and now we have a reset of the gold. Yellow Swag only has a 200 gold bounty right now, so killing him isn't as impactful as it was before, and it's gonna be hard to kill him because the only time you have done so was when he just stepped up and disrespected your positioning. That's not gonna happen too many more times. It's gonna have to happen a lot more times. Look at this damage.
Ooh, look at the top side. Caxi just getting immediately bursted out, but the Zonia proc, the stopwatch might save him a little bit. The Lantern is gonna save him for just a few more seconds, but will go down in the end. Just Another Guy looking for Ouchmouse continuously, but the 5-man in the top side just they don't stumble, they don't stop, as they're also gonna take top tower. Meanwhile, in the bottom side, Booty Banging Billy looking for some kind of split push opportunity, but in the grand scheme of things, it may not even matter with the amount of damage and and power and pressure and push presence that Collective Odyssey seem to have. The Q onto Golem, but the W going to stop Eggnog in his place. Looks like the hook is still going to connect, but, it's just going to be one tower for another, and I think Collective Odyssey are actually going to walk away pretty happy.
Yeah, they will be, but honestly, I am not. When you have a Victor, and you have a Poppy and a Jinx, you're able to really 1-3-1 this with no real answer from HyberNation. That they're sending 4 and 5 to these lanes. They catch out.
Oh, the hook is gonna get caught, and it looks like the root is put onto Turbo Stainer as Caxi is looking for some kind of engage. Golem gonna be stopped by the Poppy W. The Stridebreaker not gonna be able to go forward. Ouchmouse looking for some kind of angle. Meanwhile, Caxi and Golem getting immediately bursted out as Yellow Swag finds his way back to the fight. Caxi going down. Just Another Guy going to be able to finish off the Ouchmouse, and Jarny shows on a killing spree.
Well, yeah, there's no real need to make any kind of real macro decisions. You don't have to go 1-3-1 or 4-1 or try to think about any of these things when you just outright win in any fight possible. Eggnog gets caught out, gets the hook, rides it into the box, but it doesn't matter at all. They're just completely just way too strong 11 12K gold up. This is just going to be the end, I think. There's just no real answer for Jinx and Victor.
It looks like they called Booty Bang and Billy back with the teleport. They're going to end up diving and taking him down. Johnny Show getting the kill credit. They're taking the tower. They're taking the game. And they took the draft. And that's going to be the game. That's going to be a 1-0 from Collective Odyssey.
Yep, a 1-0 in spectacular fashion, a 13K gold lead, 29-minute game, 24 kills, 21 of those going over to the side of Collective Odyssey. And I just got to go ahead and mention once more, we kept talking about the draft, right? The draft. It was, we're looking at HyberNation with the Darius and the Yorick in the solo lanes, and only a Jhin to do not even consistent damage. That's not what Jhin does. But the only ranged champion in the entire composition there. But we have to also keep in mind that Collective Odyssey's first 3 bans were basically handshakes and helpful to HyberNation. They on blue side, with no red side bans coming out. They banned out the Seraphine. They didn't even take that champ. They could have won even harder, I think. They went with the Victor mid, which is okay, which is not bad at all. And Eggnog was absolutely smurfing on the Nautilus, but the Seraphine would have made this game even more oppressive for them. And they banned out Trundle for some reason. I don't know if Caxi plays Trundle or if Gollum plays a lot of Trundle, but Trundle isn't in the best spot right now in the game. So 2 bans on blue side that I think helped out HyberNation in a way, which makes it even more perplexing why HyberNation's draft just looked like this. Now I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that somebody comes in the chat right now and lets me know what the thought process was here. But I don't want to spend too much time speaking negatively on HyberNation. Collective Odyssey played this game so well. Just another guy was very aggressive from the get-go. Johnny Show and Eggnog. I wanted to speak on Eggnog. Those roams early on. He was always roaming to that mid lane. Knew he had prio. Knew Johnny Show would be safe in the lane by himself, and made those roams and was able to get counter ganks by himself with the hooks coming out. So Collective Odyssey with a very, very convincing game 1 win. What's on my mind, the only thing that's on my mind exclusively, is how will this draft go for HyberNation in game number 2?
Yeah, in game number 2, what HyberNation needs to look for is, abusing what they're good at, what their comp, as a team of players, can actually take advantage of. They have Golem and Booty Bang and Billy, which, currently Golem is sitting in the top lane and Booty Bang and Billy is in the mid lane. Although both of those solo laners play both of those roles. I think if they really want to take advantage of that, they start off with some kind of flex pick that, like the Darius kind of, although something a little bit more fruity and relevant, maybe something like a Karma or something like a Tristana that can that could reasonably go in top or mid lane from either of these players. That's the kind of thing I want to see. Maybe not those champions specifically, but that's the kind of thing I want to see them take advantage of. And now that they have all their bans, maybe they can get a better setup for the bot lane. Maybe they can get a better advantage for themselves, depending on what side they choose to go.
Yep, definitely agree. We'll have to get that in our next game. We're definitely on the lookout for that. So I have no more thoughts about this game. I think it was just, honestly, just a bit of a foregone conclusion in the draft phase. But we will see if HyberNation is able to bounce back. Well, actually, never mind. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Whew. Well, I guess we'll see you guys in game 2. And yeah, wow. There was a funny over here.
Standing up too high with nowhere to fall down to, empathy around you. Standing looking back, you heard it all before. Now losing what you didn't know you had. Fearing what you want is nearing, but you're really trying to get away from it. never broke my heart, like you never said the words to worlds ever further apart. Go, life will never be the same, but I will keep on finding my way. I move on to get to my brighter day. Just like you never broke my heart, like you never said the words to worlds ever further apart. Go, life will never be the same, but I will keep on finding my way. I move on to get to my brighter day.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After that certainly bombastic Game 1 from Collective Odyssey, to say the very least, hopefully this draft goes a little bit more in the way of an even state, as HyberNation will be getting their bands back. Sheltron, what are you looking to see this time around?
I'm looking to see you use words like bombastic even more often in this game. But talk about the actual draft. I mean, I want to see a draft from HyberNation. I just want to see, let's call it literally anything but what they did in their last game. The Darius and the Yorick solo lanes, one of those makes sense. Both of those together in the draft does not make sense, especially when you pair it with Lilia, who is a strong jungler. But you just don't have, there's too many things that just did not want to work together in that draft for it to actually make a move onto a Jinx and a Victor, both of whom are going to scale regardless of how you play the champs. So I just want to see these guys, I guess, think a little more about the draft. And like you mentioned, they will have their 3 bans here, and that can affect how they do pick and when they do pick the champions. And I think we'll get a better game here. I think regardless, we will see a better game. I'm sure once they got and talked about what happened in the matchup, they understood that it wasn't much that like you could do from a macro level. Not much you could have really done in the game because you were really not doing all that well in your lanes, and the game was going to be over by mid-game regardless, unless you absolutely just hard won every single lane. But I just think that we're going to be getting a much better draft and maybe more synergy from both teams, because I don't even think that Collective Odyssey's comp last game had a ton of synergy. They just had a very strong Victor, and a Jinx came up really well, and Poppy that was piloted by Turbo Stainer was able to press R every single time that Gollum came in with the Darius, and he was just not a non-factor in all those fights and skirmishes. So it wasn't like they hard out drafted them because it was a good draft. It was just that HyberNation had such a bad draft that theirs looked good in comparison. So I do want to see better drafts from both these teams here.
Yeah, noting about that Poppy last time, interestingly enough, in the game it looked like, it looked like that Poppy was picked specifically to counter the Darius, but it was actually blinded by the side of Collective Odyssey. This time, we're actually going to get a first pick Poppy from the side of HyberNation. A very interesting first pick, as it's not too high priority in pro or even amateur in that case, and even in gold leagues. But I suppose it's something that they might be able to flex between that mid and top laner who play both of those roles. Meanwhile, on Collective Odyssey, we get the strong Alistar pick and Wukong engage. We already see the kind of comp that Collective Odyssey want to go.
And Collective Odyssey with really great bands, all of those very amazing bands for them. But yeah, HyberNation first picking Poppy feels to me like you said, wait, they just smurfed on this Poppy. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this Poppy popping like they were. Double what do they call Yordle lane here. We see the Poppy and the Lulu first come out for HyberNation. Definitely want to see what this Lulu will be empowering in that bot lane. I don't think we're going to be seeing a Lulu in a solo lane here in game number 2, but we will be seeing the top lane mount. And these are all flexes, right? Every single pick for HyberNation is a flex. Poppy can go top jungle, even support a little bit. Lulu can go solo lane or support. Malphite can go top. You have seen it mid a little bit, and Malphite can play support, but there's a little bit of flexing that can happen with all these picks. But we'll have to see what's going on here with HyberNation's picks. And like you mentioned before, the Collective Odyssey, their comp wants to go in. Wukong on the flank, Super Giga engage with this Alistar, and we know what Udyr does. He runs in, bear slaps you. Sometimes he changes it up and he flash bear slaps you. You're stunned, and now you're dunned. And HyberNation is going to have a lot better peel, a lot more damage on the front line, because it's going to be very, very hard to kill this comp from Collective Odyssey.
Yeah, I think it's already a little surprising that Collective Odyssey is aiming to ban, sort of that passive damage dealer like the Malzahar that that Emily and Booty Banging Billy like to play, especially since Booty Banging Billy's history pretty recently is a lot of Malzahar and solo queue. From HyberNation, however, already from this kind of composition, I kind of expect the Malphite to be an answer into the Wukong, just because it's the armor champion. It's something that can deal with the kind of tank that Wukong is. He doesn't even put out AD, so it's a bit better of an answer for someone that's going to be a little consistent in the top side of the map. Poppy, on the other hand, is a much better jungler than a Malphite could be, so already I'm kind of expecting it to skew towards that direction. A Silas ban going to be put on the side of HyberNation with a Kai'Sa ban on Collective Odyssey. This already tells me that Collective Odyssey know what they want to do. They know they don't want to deal with any potential frisky engage getting directly onto their backline. They're the ones that want to set up that engage and hit the go button first. They definitely want to be the first ones to those objectives and have controlling presence in those team fights.
Exactly right, and that was a very smart Silas ban for HyberNation, because all three of these ultimates, from the Poppy, the Lulu, and the Malphite, are extremely oppressive. Very, very strong for Silas to take away, so I really do love their bans here in this phase. And the first pick of the pick phase, in the second pick phase, will be the Xayah. So we will be seeing Jarny show on this feathered AD carry. Does need some time to go ahead and scale up a little bit, but it's fairly safe in lane, especially when paired with that Alistar. You have some very good peel, some very good self peel, and you actually have a bit of agency to use that Featherstorm to get out of the way of a couple things. Now, the Varus pickup for Fiendfire, I have a like-hate relationship. It's not a love-hate, it's a like-hate with Varus. Varus played the right way, can be pretty decent, but it has to be played. It has to be played the right way in a composition. And once again, we're looking at a comp that right now doesn't have a ton of sustained damage. Right, you have a tank and Poppy, a tank and Malphite. Varus is good for poke. You can lay down and there's some AOE damage that comes down. but he's not really a champ that's going to be doing a ton, the kind of damage you expect to see out of traditional AD carries, out of most of the S tier AD carries, doing a lot of sustained DPS over time. And the Echo's stronger. The Echo's strong. We're looking at Echo could be jungle, actually. I think this may be Poppy. I don't know. I couldn't even call it. I could not call.
I believe it's. I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's the Echo mid instead, just because with the overall composition, I think Echo could get a little bit more utility out of being in the mid lane. And already from the side of HyberNation, initially, just with a straight look, I think most people would probably say, oh yeah, it's clearly Collective Odyssey. They've got the hyper-scaling AD carry in Xayah. They've got the setup from and some of that AP damage from Veigar, so you're not forced into one damage type, and it's a strong damage type at that. And then you've got the Wukong, Alistar, and Udyr for that setup and that massive frontline and peel, all in one. But on the side of HyberNation, I think they actually answered it pretty well with the Echo and with the Poppies kind of being able to stop those engages specifically. And along with the Varus and the Lulu, if you're able to get enough vision to spot out those flank positions that Collective Odyssey is going to be looking for, then Varus Lulu can be a very powerful lane come mid-game. So I think this game is actually going to end up coming down to just a battle of vision. Who can get their vision down first, and who can spot out flank positions from either side? Is the pushing power and position going to be strong enough from HyberNation? Is their setup going to be sturdy enough, or will Collective Odyssey find a way to break it down?
I mean, with all the CC coming through from Collective Odyssey, with the Alistar, the Udyr, Xayah recalling those feathers, and like you said Xayah does scale very hard. Veigar scales infinitely. He scales infinitely. So the longer this game goes on, HyberNation wants this game to go long themselves. They can't end the game quickly. I mean, HyberNation's comp cannot end the game before 25 minutes. Collective Odyssey hands in the game on a silver platter with spoons and forks and napkins in the shape of origami animals. But Collective Odyssey, they say we can absorb pressure. If you want to, we can play the long game. If you want to sit here and farm for 25 minutes, we can do that if you really want to. All we have to see out of Yellow Swag is him continuously hit his spells and get that phenomenal evil power scaled up and up and up. It's not rare to see a Veigar hit that 1,000 AP mark and then be hitting like a truck with the E coming down, and every member of HyberNation wants to go in. Outside of the Varus, every one of these members and the Lulu, but they want to go in, right? So you have the Featherstorm, you have the Blade Recall, Udyr coming in, Alistar knocking you up, and then you're stuck in the cage with Veigar, and he can just one-shot you. I mean, there's so much CC. I don't have a hard time seeing how HyberNation actually makes a move into an established position from Collective Odyssey. Like you mentioned, it's going to be about all the vision game, who can get there first, establish vision, and make sure the opposite team cannot make a move. When you're depending on a Poppy jungle up against an Udyr, I'm gonna have to see it to believe it, because it's just gonna be a really rough time for HyberNation. I mean, Udyr is such a strong jungler; he can invade, and he has fairly good, very good ganks as well. The comp diff is in favor of Collective Odyssey, but HyberNation has a chance to prove me wrong in game 2 with this Varus and Echo being the carries.
We got a little bit of a mix-up, the accidental ban of the Malphite. But yeah, with your concern about the Poppy, that might end up changing depending on where that Poppy or Echo or Malphite do go. All three can technically play all three roles, although you're typically not going to see a Malphite jungle, and you're typically not going to see an Echo top anymore. But I believe Poppy mid is actually fairly popular, so. If it does end up being the Echo jungle, for example, that kind of could sway your worries a little bit for this HyberNation squad, as if you're able to take care of that of that scaling pressure in the early game by shutting down Veigar or Xayah early enough, that may be their avenue into this game. But yeah, it certainly is going to be tough.
Yeah, my only real worry is the DPS. You have a lot of ways to keep your members alive, but can you deal enough damage to kill the members of Collective Odyssey because a lot of their champs can one-shot you or put you in CC and layer that CC in a way that you can't put down the little damage that you do have. Wukong wants to go on flanks. That's going to leave open your back line. Like you mentioned, that vision game, not just in the river and in the pits, but also behind you if we do see Turbo Stainer making moves. And he did play very well in the last game. He does seem to have very good awareness on the map. And I wouldn't be surprised if Collective Odyssey makes the same kind of decision they made last game. Hard camp bot and say, look, if you want to play this game, let Echo carry you. Let Malphite carry you. But we're going to try to and tilt Fiendfire early and often and make sure she can't play the game because, I mean, that's going to be one of your main damage dealers right there. One of your two only damage dealers in the game, and we'll deal with the Echo when we have to, right? We'll deal with the Echo when we have to, but if you have no Varus, and the Varus isn't allowed to play the game, not allowed to be a champion, then, I mean, we have nothing really to worry about with how chunky the frontline is and how well the two carries do scale in this game as things get later and later on.
Yeah, and one extra thing. I will be supremely disappointed if we do not see Collective Odyssey, now with the better level 1 composition, not go for a level 1 invade. They've got the Vigar. They've got the early Xayah, who, you know, is probably going to end up starting W for that aggression. You know, you've got the Alistar for the knockup. You know, you drafted this beautiful team comp that wants to get ahead as early as possible so they can be ahead in the late game. So I'm going to be really paying attention to the early levels to see not only where just another guy heads with his Udyr, but also on who is actually going to be getting the attention, Yellow Swag or Johnny Show, and at what stage in the game.
Yeah, we'll have to see where these junglers do start. Just another guy. I wouldn't be too surprised if he just starts in the top side saying, look, I could make a move and try to gank Golem and try to get a kill on this Malphite and get my Wukong ahead. I highly doubt that'll be the case. He may go for a full clear in his top side and try to get a gank on the Echo. He's a pretty mobile champion and can make moves. My eyes are squarely on just on the guy, pathing from top to bottom and saying, hey, look, Johnny and Eggnog, look, I know you guys are strong in lane right now, but go ahead and let this Varus and Lulu push you. They'll probably have prio anyway. Let them push you, and I'm coming over the backside, and you can definitely secure a kill onto a Varus and Lulu with a Xayah and Alistar at level 3. That can be a very strong wombo combo with the Udyr, with the bear slap. So that's where my head's at here with the very start of the game. Poppy may have to go ahead and make the same kind of decision and just say, look, Golem, you're playing weak side this game. I'm going to come down and try to make sure I can get a counter gank onto this Udyr, because if he gets himself ahead or his Xayah ahead early enough, it's gonna be way too tough for us to try and catch up to these hyperscalers in the mid and bot lane. So I think it's gonna come down pretty heavily onto these jungle picks: an S tier jungler and Udyr, and Poppy, who is below meta, down to pocket pick one trick territory for jungling in 11.7, I believe we're in right now.
11.7 or 17? Oh wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. I believe it's 11.7. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like just before we get in the game, we've got Team Animal Cracker over here on the right in Collective Odyssey with the Wukong, 4 different stances, the rat, the bird, and the cow, and then you've got HyberNation, just with their defensive as well as kind of aggressive draft strategy. We'll see how it plays out when we get into game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are now in game with Collective Odyssey versus HyberNation Game 2. Collective Odyssey now on the red side, HyberNation now on the blue. And small update, Oasis is 1-0 over TSQA in the other side of the losers bracket. And in the winners bracket, currently Rockport is up 1-0 over Listen to Your Heart. So, Shellatron, where's my level 1?
Your level 1 was Booty Banging Billy pressing Q and getting very minimal damage onto the Udyr, but he did go ahead and assert his dominance over that matchup, saying if you want to come to the mid lane, you have to deal with another one of those. You are going to start this game 20 HP down. Just think about how oppressive that's going to be for you as an Udyr. You're not going to have as fast of a clear now. You're not going to be as annoying of a champion anymore because I pressed Q on you. Not quite the case, but we are going to see these two junglers starting on opposite side of the maps. Just another guy for Collective Odyssey is going to start top and path his way bot side. I'm a little bit surprised to see Caxi on this Predator Poppy trying to make a move to the top side to potentially make a move to catch Turbo Stainer out. I don't believe that's going to be a very fruitful gank there in the top lane, but we may see some different kind of funny business. Maybe he might try to go and make a move onto Veigar in the mid. We'll see how this all works out, and it's gonna be very apparent where the start is because Turbo Stainer does not delay getting the lane, and there is a ward on the Raptor camp which probably will catch out just another guy once he does make his move there from the Krugs.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting to see Golem and while playing this top lane Malphite actually go for that Comet and Doran ring specifically start. Normally, if you're going tank, you're probably going to end up going for the Corrupting Pot, although Doran's ring isn't uncommon. And even though Comet is the most common starting item, typically, you're going to see that if you're going full AP, you're going to be able to use that. But it is better into this matchup in the top side. Meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, looks like Johnny Show and Eggnog are going to be able to push Fiendfire and Ouchmouse a little bit just under tower. Looks like HyberNation is going to actually get that freeze going. So that's pretty good. And just another guy does get caught out from the ward, and it looks like we're going to see some vertical jungling. Meanwhile, in the mid, Caxie's looking for any kind of catch on the yellow swag, while Golem is taking some massive hits in the top side.
Yeah, and what happened there was Caxie starting their bot side was trying to get a gank onto a Veigar. That's going to be very, very difficult. But we're going to see vertical jungling here. Just another guy at the blue of Caxie. Caxie at the blue of just another guy. And with the bot lane moving up, Johnny Show and Eggnog making a move, they could have made a stronger effort to try to catch out this Poppy. I mean, that could have been a kill secured. Definitely with Veigar right there as well. Just very lucky. Counts lucky stars there because that was definitely a kill secured on a Caxi. Either way, just pretty stable lanes takes across the board. Nothing too out of the ordinary here.
Who looks like just another guy is going to advance the mid lane to try to catch out Booty Banging Billy, but the E-Flash may not be enough, and first blood goes to just another guy. Even Turbo Stainer made his way down for that.
Yeah, Turbo Stainer getting kind of frozen on a little bit here. Getting zoned from the wave. Says, okay, we want to zone from the wave. We'll make a 3-man play onto your mid laner. We do make the Echo burn his Flash E. That phase dive can be very difficult to... it can be very oppressive, especially after you get a couple items under your belt. But until you hit level 6, you're going to be in a pretty bad spot if you are the Echo.
It's going to be pretty dangerous for Golem. He's nearly out of mana, and just another guy is here for the support. He's going to hit the Flash, and Turbo Stainer is also going to hit the Flash. And that's 3 summoner spells spent on the top side, but another kill on the side of Collective Odyssey.
Yeah, 2 flashes for a kill in both of the solo lanes. You take those, right? You definitely do take those. 400 gold onto your Udyr, 300 extra gold onto your Wukong, and Turbo Stainer able to shove doesn't get to shove the wave in all the way in the top lane, but still doing just fine here.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Booty Banging Billy putting some massive damage onto Yellow Swag. This might actually leave HyberNation in position to be able to take First Dragon, as bot lane is also pushed up, but doesn't look like Caxie's focus is on that. They will get vision, though, in case Udyr does come down, threatening this presence they do have in the bot lane.
Yeah, there could be some decent Positioning here. Uh-oh, mid lane. Another gank
He's
happening.
getting caught out. Just a little stun though, not going to mean too much. As just another guy walks down into the river. They really know. They're making sure with a number of pings. But I mean, the pressure that HyberNation had, they kind of went to waste a little bit. Maybe they thought they couldn't rush it down in time, but it's only a Cloud Drake, so looks like Eggnog is actually gonna hit the WQ combo onto Ouchmouse. Just gonna get seeing the value of that polymorph coming up.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a Poppy, no item Varus, and a Lulu, you probably aren't going to be burning down that dragon very, very quickly, especially when there's an Udyr, a Veigar, and a Xayah on the other side that could make a move once they understand that the lane is missing. So you don't want to be too aggressive here, and as the lane starts to get pushed out in favor of Collective Odyssey, we do see just another guy already on this dragon. Eggnog going to go ahead and help, and that's going to be first Drake over to the side of Collective Odyssey here. And that's going to be very, very good for them to just go ahead and get this dragon stacking started up early. And with no objective on the map on the other side for Caxi, and you're going to look and see there's no Raptors, he's going to be kind of out of luck to make a counterplay in terms of... hold up.
Well, it looks like mid lane gonna get a little bit caught out from Booty Bang and Billy, but nothing's gonna come of it. Meanwhile, just another guy is kind of sneaking up onto Caxi. Will he be able to get the scuttle in time? He will. But yeah, one of those things that you mentioned, there's no objective up. Caxi didn't even put out any wards. Not sure if it didn't look like he had any to put down, but not even scouting the fully that jungle side just to make sure all those camps were down. Make sure that you really had the kind of pressure you might be able to maybe get better track of those timers, but. No, that dragon really was simply free, as nothing was done on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I think Caxi did have that control ward they already have in their inventory, but I mean, when you know that just another guy is on dragon right now, and you see that the Raptor camp is down, and there's no red, you're probably thinking, okay, that's where he's going to go after his dragon, right? If it's down right now, after drag, he's probably going to path his way back up top regardless. So you're going to know, or make an assumption that just another guy will be pathing up top. But either way here, Caxi is a bit behind, both in CS and impact on the map. It's gonna be hard to gank this Veigar right here. He's just gonna put the cage down, and you really can't make a move as the Poppy.
Yeah, and it's only going to get increasingly difficult as the Veigar cooldown later in the game for that E just gets lower and lower. It's going to get more and more difficult to get, to work around that when it's up every 6 seconds. Meanwhile, on the top side, just another guy is kind of sneaking his way, and he's going to be going for the engage, forcing the ultimate out of Golem.
Wow.
The Rock Smash not going to be able to find any. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, looks like Caxi's actually going to go for a gank of his own. Going to be forcing the W to fail on the side of Eggnog, and that's a kill for Fiendfire.
Yeah, a very great kill, able to get the ultimate off, and you get you are able to get Fiendfire on the Varus, a very strong kill. Eggnog is out of the play here. Now, there wasn't a drag available, but there is Herald on the map, opposite side, and they're going to be putting down some very good vision in the jungle of just another guy. But with priority in the mid lane and a stronger Wukong coming back to lane with both the Iron Spike Whip and Phage, this is just going to be the go signal for this Udyr to say, okay, you got to kill on my support bot lane.
Oh, look at the damage coming out!
What?
Ouchmouse takes the kill, but that's another just piece of gold for the side of HyberNation. Looks like Cassie's going to smite away the blue buff as just another guy answers on the top side of the map with getting the Rift Herald. But that's plates for the side of HyberNation. That's not something that you want to answer and give away lightly.
Bro, that's plates and 2 waves. Look at how many caster minions are right here that Johnny Show is going to be missing. Burn the flash, and why are you sitting up there so far up with your no support? You see your weak side. Your jungler is taking Herald. Why step up that far? Especially when Ouchmouse has exhaust right there. You just get burned down, and this is going to be a much stronger bot lane for Fiendfire and the Ouchmouse, looking very, very good here. Johnny Show loses so much gold, gives over so much gold in the kill, and gold with the plates. I mean, once these two come back, yeah, they're going to have the Noon Quiver and the pickaxe on this Varus, and you already see the Bandle Glass Mirror coming out for this Lulu. They are so much stronger.
Yeah, and that was HyberNation's goal from the beginning. They picked the Varus Lulu for that strong lane. Meanwhile, Caxi gonna be able to stop the double dash from the Alistar. Might be forcing the flash, but it looks like Booty Banging Billy's gonna try to follow up. Nothing's gonna come of it. Meanwhile, from the from the side of HyberNation, they're getting the success out of that bot lane, and they also get success in shutting down the gold gain from the enemy side's bot lane. Sure, Yellow Swag also has a little bit of a lead onto Booty Banging Billy, but they're setting another one down for potentially a dive. Looks like they're letting the minion wave go in. Teleport coming out from the side of Collective Odyssey. Meanwhile, they're going to get an insta-kill onto Eggnog, but the wall going to stop any more trouble. Booty Banging Billy ults out, but the first tower is actually going to go down to the other side of the map.
So we do see a trade, 2 kills on the side of Collective Odyssey, 1 on both sides of the map there. Caxi is staying a little bit too far up, gets caught up with the aggro from the turret, and on the other side of the map, Turbo Stainer and Just Another Guy share all those plates and first turret gold together. They are going to be very, very strong. This is your front line of Collective Odyssey here, and now the Wukong is unlocked. Can go ahead and roam and make plays across the map. And with Dragon up right now, they have the inside track to make a move onto this second Drake of the game for them.
Yeah, and now that tower's gone, Turbo Stainer just has the freedom to walk down here and be near the team fight before anyone else, before it even starts. They're going to have pressure over this Ocean Drake, and it looks like Eggnog's looking for a cut of engage, but the Caxi's W is going to forfeit that from ever happening. Looks like they're going to just drag it out and take this down. Caxi is actually continuing to look for some kind of rehabilitation, some way to get into this pit, but it's nothing going to come to no avail as Just Another Guy takes it for free.
Yeah, a lot of posturing and positioning there for HyberNation, but they knew they really had no chance to get up there in that pit without potentially giving over their lives. I mean, you have a Gore Drinker and a Merc Treads on Turbo Stainer, and then Merc Treads on Just Another Guy with the Chem Tank. You just really weren't strong enough to have a real answer for the composition there of Collective Odyssey. A quick check-in while we're at 13 minutes on Yellow Swag's on his passive. 99 stacks of Phenomenal Evil Power. That's 99 extra AP on the Veigar. So he's going to be sitting at 193 right now. So he literally doubled up his AP just based off of his passive alone. So Veigar's going to be hitting very strong very, very soon. Uh-oh.
Ooh, looks like Caxi's looking for something. Gonna get stunned up. Not gonna come to no avail as Just Another Guy is also here. Yogosai gonna get away with the flash, but no, as the follow-up from Golem with the Rock Slam ulti, rock solid, and that's gonna be nearly 2 down as Booty Banging Billy's stuck under the tower and gonna get ulted and consumed. The reverse gate goes poorly. Meanwhile, Turbo Stainer also here with the Wukong ulti, and looks like 2 are gonna go down. Looks like Caxi's actually going to get away with his life, but Golem is currently running away for his life as Just Another Guy is probably just going to walk all the way around. Golem, I'm sorry, but you're dead.
Looking for the execute. Has it been 10 seconds? Has it been 10 seconds? Has it
I
been
don't
10
think
seconds?
so.
Oh, it has.
Oh, it has.
Wow. And that's the very heads-up move from Golem, but still he's off the map, right? Which means there's going to be even more pressure. Look at these waves going to the top side. It's going to have to be Booty Banging Billy to make a move to answer this, which means that the bot lane is going to be pushing even harder. No Lulu right there. It's just Varus Fiendfire by herself. Now, you don't want to sit here and try to protect this turret too much, but I guess they're going to be happy to shove the wave. And, no, going to stay here. Going to pretend to recall? Oh, no, just going to sit in the bush and channel twice, and then shove this next wave back in, and then recall to get the first item of the game, the first mythic of the game for Jarny Show. Looking just fine there, but this game is going to be based all on how much CC these two teams can layer down, and who has the better engage, and who's able to answer the engage, holding on to those cooldowns. Because I mean, we just saw Yellow Swag get dove 1 HP, drops the cage down and lets the turret do some work, and then drops the R, the ultimate, the primordial burst, is able to secure a kill and get him even stronger in this matchup. And since he has gone ahead and rushed Zhonya's first, he's going to need all the help he can get, getting that gold and more ability power on him while he is scaling up in this game.
Yeah, that's one thing I was actually really impressed about. The resilience of not when you're someone like Viger who wants to get as powerful as possible in however long, because you'll eventually get there. Usually, the instinct is just to go rush that Lichbane or that Everfrost, just to get that AP to be able to do that damage. But the amount of resilience you need and the fortitude you have to have on the inside to be able to just commit to rushing that defensive item is really impressive, along with the Verdant Barrier. And meanwhile, in the bot side of the map, Ouchmouse is just going to be clearing out. Might get caught by Eggnog as he's going for the Blast Cone. Going to be able to get the combo as he's delivering Ouch to the team. And Johnny Show and Just Another Guy are going to try to chase off Caxi as this Dragon is coming up in less than a minute.
Yep, Dragon on the map in less than a minute. The Rift Herald is on the board here. If any one of these teams wants to trade here, but this is going to be soul point potentially for Collective Odyssey. So HyberNation should want to fight this. Golem in the top lane does have teleport, so we'll see if we will see a flank ward. Nope, that flank ward gets taken down, but there is a wave bot lane, and there is actually another ward in this rush.
Looks like they're going to engage on the Turbo Standard, but Caxi's actually going to make the return stun. Ouchmouse flashing back over the wall. Meanwhile, Eggnog following up, but getting knocked right back. Meanwhile, Golem actually teleported to the wrong ward and is actually going to be here along with the enemy top laner. Caxi additionally going in, forcing the cleanse out. The 3-man knockup now being a 2-man because Johnny Show makes the jump up to the invincible range. Eggnog actually getting super low. He's not going to go down, but finally he does as Turbo Stainer is going to be 4-man as Booty Banging Billy makes the Chrono Break and the return. That's going to be Dragon Prio for HyberNation. And a surprising victory in a team fight where they really were at a disadvantage in the comp.
Yeah, and this is a 3-for-1. Only Golem dies. He does use the unstoppable
looks like Yellow Swag's here for a little bit of backup, but nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, he says, wow, miss on the Hextech Rocket Belt. Will he secure a kill? No, he won't. With that is Verdant Barrier and the it's just Verdant Barrier, honestly, getting him that ability to not die there to the Echo. But that was Golem going in and using the unstoppable force on 3 members and getting bursted out immediately. But he was able to save his team from getting engaged on. That was mainly, I think, more the side of Collective Odyssey just misplaying the fight. Eggnog just not fast enough
that was close
to catch him out. But while the side of Collective Odyssey will miss out on stacking that third Drake, they will have Prio on the Rift Herald, so they'll be able to open up the map even further for themselves. It is a 1-0 turret count, but they have had Prio on these lanes basically all game, and they're going to look to open up the map even further to get some better.
Looks like they're catching him out and actually going to outnumber them. Looks like Cax is going to go for the stun onto Just Another Guy, but then end up turning onto Turbo Stainer. Meanwhile, on the bot side of that, there's also a little scuffle, but they're going to jump straight onto Fiendfire and take him down, and Booty Banging Billy is also taking down Johnny Show, as Caxi is actually going to fall to YOLO Swag. The stacks, and that's all she wrote as Turbo Stainer and Just Another Guy walking around the Ouchmouse. Golem getting spotted out a little bit, but that's just going to be everything from the side of HyberNation that they can spend.
Yeah, and HyberNation, Caxi was able to secure the kill onto the Rift Herald, so was able to deny that away from Collective Odyssey, but does give his life for the cause. But in the bottom, like you mentioned, we did see, I believe it was Booty Banging Billy secure a kill onto Johnny's Show, if I'm not mistaken. And the Echo's going to be getting even stronger now. And Echo, as we all know, is an extremely oppressive champ if you do allow him to scale up. Mostly with the Medjais, with the stacks, you get that extra move speed. And Echo does love that move speed, able to stick on a champion with the phase dive, slow them with the Q and all that. Once you do get that, get those items in, he can one-shot you very easily, and you just will not be able to get away from him. But as he is able to sit here and get this wave in, take this turret away and get all this gold, he's going to go back to base after this wave and be extremely strong for his team.
Okay, so we're starting to see the battle for vision really intensify around these dragons as, by the end, Mountain Soul is pretty huge. It makes for one of your team fights lasting, much longer. Some of your champions will be a lot harder to kill. And when you have the Lulu versus, already established tanks like the Alistar and Wukong, this Mountain Soul matters. So I really want to know, because Collective Odyssey have the better team fight composition, what does HyberNation have to do during or before to be able to have a chance?
Well, the first thing is they have to protect their back line, right? If Fiendfire is not part of the fight, then and if Turbo Stainer is able to get a flank onto the team comp, they're just going to be in a bad position. But hold up.
It looks like there's a little WQ from Eggnog onto Caxi and Ouchmouse. This duo looks like there's not going to be really a stun coming out. While Caxi delivers Eggnog away, just another guy will end up dropping to Booty Bang and Billy as the rest of the HyberNation squad end up showing up. Booty Bang and Billy actually caught out, not able to use his Chrono Break. And meanwhile, Collective Odyssey just cleaning up as Golem is actually missing, stuck on the top side without teleport. Fiendfire going down, and Dragon priority for Collective Odyssey.
Yeah, it's a 3 for 2 going over to the side of Collective Odyssey. The whole bottom side of the bottom half of the map is killed for HyberNation, but we have another minute before Dragon's going to spawn. Look at how red this bot side river is, and there's even some pretty strong vision in the red side jungle of HyberNation. So we're definitely going to be looking at Collective Odyssey with very strong priority, like you mentioned, or at least very strong vision that will probably go ahead and get cleared out soon. Golem just gets his teleport, so he will be able to make a move onto this dragon fight very, very soon. Probably going to just back and walk his way up there. But because Turbo Stainer does not have teleport, he's going to be trying to stop the back of Golem and say, look, if I can't make it to the fight, then neither can you.
Yeah, certainly in this kind of matchup, I'm kind of estranged to see that Golem is stuck. Oh, looks like he's actually going to be taking quite a heavier hit than we thought. Going to be forced to use the Rock Slam and the Flash as Turbo Stainer also expends the Summoner spell. But then again, Golem additionally has that ability to teleport to the fight and make it there. They may lose a tower on the offhand, but it's the kind of advantage that HyberNation would need to press. Looks like they're starting it up. Just another guy kind of looking for any way in. Eggnog here to back him up as Yellow Swag is also close by. But if they don't start anything soon, that the Dragon's just going to go down. Caxi's not on the Dragon quite yet, but he's now focusing and going to take the smite. Meanwhile, they don't have their damage. Fiendfire went down in the back half of that, and that's just going to be it. Caxi forced to flash out of the pit, and that's a tower. And a few kills to the side of Collective Odyssey. Meanwhile, HyberNation get the Dragon.
Yeah, and the big thing is Turbo Stainer was able to have so much pressure that Golem could not make a move to Dragon Pit. So while HyberNation did take the Dragon, they're stacking 2 mountains, which is really good for the comp. You have Poppy, you have Malphite, and you have, with the resistances and whatnot. And with the shielding is good, but you have no members on your team able to answer this Baron play. This is 5 members of Collective Odyssey taking this Baron down. You cannot walk into them. You have no business making a move onto this Baron, and you've just given this up, and this is going to be even more pressure. Hold up.
It certainly doesn't mean Caxi won't try. He's going to get stuck from the Vigor, but he knocks 3 away just a little too late. If he had done that merely a second sooner, he might have actually been able to disrupt that Baron.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to actually step close enough to actually get the range on that, but he did. And I mean, now, I believe that the Baron probably resets there, but just even denying the Baron would have been strong enough for Caxi. That was a heads-up play. Gotta show love to that, but in the end, it was not successful. And now, if you are Collective Odyssey, you can push these waves. I think a 4-1 will be really good here. Turbo Stainer going in the bot lane. There he is in the bot lane. This bot tower, tier 1, will go down with a Stern talking to. And with 4 members deep in the mid lane, they're going to be looking good.
Oh, looks like they're going to get the catch on the Boogie Bang Billy with the stun and the knockup from the Alistar Udyr combo. Looks like the Zhonya will be pressed, though, as the Lulu will also be diffused, as Booty Bang and Billy cannot seem to get his Chrono Break off. Meanwhile, Ouchmouse also getting caught out by this Udyr chase, and looks like he's going to go down to just 1 more Phoenix proc. Gosh dang.
This is a family show. Please do not use that kind of language. But
I'm
the fight
sorry.
don't stop.
Gush Donaro. Oh, looks like Golem with the re-engage from the Rock Slam. Not going to be able to find anything, though, as it actually gets turned back on him. Yellow Swag going to take him down as just another guy is chasing onto Caxi. But that's just going to mean that they get another inhibitor for their troubles, and they're going to extend this Baron push to potentially end the game. These death timers, while coming up for Booty Bang and Billy and Ouchmouse, it's, they're down a member now. And this is a Nexus tower. Caxi's getting kind of pressured out. And Booty Bag and Billy going back in. Still not able to get his Chrono Break off. He goes down. Eggnog going to be out of the fight while Caxi is just on the chase in a misguided effort to be able to take down the enemy support.
Where's the damage?
That's going to be the game as Ouchmouse and the rest of his team won't be able to answer. That's Collective Odyssey taking the game.
That is Collective Odyssey taking the series 2-0 right here. And look, this is a better competition for HyberNation. They did have more damage. They did have more appeal. They did have more engage in this composition. But at the end of the day, I mean, you do have a Varus and an Echo. Can't hate on them too much, but there's just not as much damage coming out. Not as much of a strong damage-dealing front line like the side of Collective Odyssey was able to draft there with the Wukong, who was solo killing Malphite. Malphite never really got tanky. Malphite is a tanky champion and can get very strong, very, very big and bulky, but we saw multiple times where Yellow Swag was just one-shotting him, and then Turbo Stinger was solo killing him in the top lane, just over and over again, able to control what Goblin was able to do on the map. He couldn't teleport to the dragon fight, had to stay down and answer the wave at the inhibitor turret while everyone is backed up for Collective Odyssey and took that Baron basically for free. Yellow Swag was able to have so many stacks, 259 stacks of phenomenal Evo power, had over 500 AP at the game's end. This was just a masterclass of Collective Odyssey playing so well in their drafts and their picks. And it kind of seems to me that I don't want to say this is the only reason why HyberNation lost these games. I don't think that Fiendfire plays champions that do sustained DPS. I don't think that the player plays champs. I mean, I've only seen the Jhin. We saw the Varus here, but we aren't seeing things like Jinx. We aren't seeing things like, I guess, an Aphelios or even a Misfortune. Maybe even a Caitlyn. These champs that are gonna auto attack you to death from range and able to get that DPS down. Maybe I think you might have said that Fiendfire does play things like Senna sometimes as well, potentially. But even that, yeah, even that isn't really a super. It can be once you do scale up, but it's not. I think they just didn't have enough damage. Not enough damage. A lot of peel, a lot of frontline. But you can have all the frontline you want. If you don't do damage, if you can't kill the opponent, they're gonna live long enough to kill you, and that's what we saw in both these games.
Yeah, certainly. Now, what I'm interested is to hear, who was your MVP for this series? Personally, I thought Eggnog and Just Another Guy equally did a tremendous amount for their teams. Eggnog with the great roams and, excellent engages within the team fights and keeping that CC on the correct targets. And Just Another Guy also targeting the correct people and taking them down at almost every opportunity he could.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm with you on that one. Just Another Guy played proactively, played aggressively in all these games. But the way I see it, Jungle Diff is support diff, and Eggnog played the Nautilus to perfection. I just love how he played Nautilus. And then on this Alistair, he was also being very proactive on the map. It's not a surprise to me that he had the second most KP in the game. Only second to Just Another Guy. He had 18. Eggnog had 15. And I mean, I have to say I give it to Eggnog, but the support jungle synergy has to be right for you to have the kind of game you really want to have at a competitive level. Support and jungle go hand in hand, and I think that Eggnog, Just Another Guy, could take co-MVP, but I'd give it to Eggnog more so for the performance on the Nautilus in Game 1. Just played to perfection. I gotta show some love to Eggnog. Played a very great 2-game series here.
Well, certainly a support diff and a diffy in the jiffy this game. And for the series, stay tuned because we'll be catching up on our winners bracket matchup where Rockport Esports are at match point against Lee Sin to your heart. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and thanks for watching.
Stuck inside of these walls within. I don't recognize who I've turned into. I'm losing hope in getting myself back. Everything around me is starting to turn black. Don't tell me you're hurt again. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how it's all my fault. Yeah, I've met my match again. Starting from scratch again. Where is the pleasure in all this pain? Don't you lie to me. Say it's all okay. When it feels like I'm drowning. I hate to say goodbye, but it's time to go. All I need is someone I've never felt more divided than now. Every word that leaves your lips never means how it sounds. How could the best of me could have just set me free? Games that you play are just second hand. Now I'm beside myself, no one your fucking hell. Let me just go, let me just go. Don't you lie to me. Say it's all okay. When it feels like I'm drowning. I hate to say goodbye, but it's time to go. All I need is someone
Hello everybody, it's me Dory, just giving you guys an instance of the stream. Now, we're not going to have any casters for this portion, but we just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. This is the beginning of Game 3 with Rockport Esports on the red side, up match point against Listen to Your Heart. So go ahead, stay tuned, and we'll see you guys real soon with the results of the match.
Minions have spawned. has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. down. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's inhibitor is Red team triple kill. Ace.
When you need it most, feel the freedom, careless, just be. Alright, through the
Red team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
Why the smile on your face? Don't fake it. You don't have to fear in your eyes. Will
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
take a chance. Leave it behind you. The ones that love you, let them guide you. Everything will be alright. Through the darkness, through the be ready.
of the night, but it's the only way of life. It's black holes pulling me inside of this black heart, the black soul underneath this black sky. Baby, you should come with me. I'll take you to the dark side. Me and you and me, do bad things in the nighttime. Baby, you should come with me, and we can kill the lights, hit the lights, let it black out, hit the lights, let it black out. Blackbird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything black, black heart, black keys, black diamonds, black out, black everything black, black everything, everything all black, everything, everything all black, everything, everything all black, everything, everything black. Baby, you should come with me. Me and you and me. Baby, you should come with me, and we can kill the lights, hit the lights, let it black out, hit the lights, let it black out. Blackbird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything black, black heart, black keys, black diamonds, black out, black everything black, black everything, everything all black, everything, everything all black, everything, everything all black, everything, everything black.
I think I need therapy or just some more whiskey. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. Saw you in that red dress. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead.
most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. Crime and violence.
Minions have spawned.
Like the smoke in my lungs, you got me feeling so numb. Oh, all I felt was you. I was out of my mind, you were killing me inside. Yeah, I know the truth. I know it's that I think of you, I'm losing sleep. I don't know what it is you do. The moment that you walked into my life, I started to fall head to toe for you. No, I just can't get over all the games we played. I lose myself face. Memories cannot erase. No, I don't know how to. But we started for fun. Got me feeling so numb. I feel just like a fool. I know instead I think of you. I'm losing sleep. I don't know what it is you do. The moment that you walked into my life, I started to from head to toe for you. No, I just can't get over all the games we played. I lost myself in your abuse. You split my heart in two. You split my heart in two. I'm running away from the past I left behind. Looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the lights. I'm lost in the music, and I stay here for the night. Must I be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind? No blind.
in the ceiling, I can't seem to let it go. Locked in this cage, I've been stuck here for days and I can't seem to let you go. You pull me up and I put you down. You gave me love, then I stole your crown. You let me in, then I pushed you out. Pushed you out, pushed you out. Don't let me make your these days. Open my eyes, know what you see.
Turret plating will fall
treehouse, and no one cares if we go. I stumble over to a policeman. He says, son, you better get back home. And everybody's laughing at me now, from their faces covered in snow. I'm trying to be the best I can be now. They say make it something we know. Does everybody live in a dreamland? Does this dreamland ever be known? Swallowing us up in an avalanche and blurring these lines with smoke. They tell me that I should be a real man, but my pride will be the first thing to go. I gotta get out of this wasteland, 'cause this wasteland ain't
words matter if you lacking at the sound. All of the gal I go passing when me boy I go drop them a coming. Murder. We are the burning fire and natural born killer when we bust it down and watch out some nights. I am the bad boy. When they come on and I go on them. And they feel your cuts in the middle when the flames catch up. Put up your guns in the return all of the fire. It's a one man signal give a sign. And pull your gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Return all of the fire. It's a one man signal give a sign. And pull your gun finger trigger. Me are the burning fire and natural born killer. When me bust into flame, watch out some might see up as a turning. I am make the bad boy bigger. When they come around, we all go on them. Listen to the word and they fire your cuts in the middle. When the flames catch, I put up your guns in the return all of the fire. It's a one man signal, give a sign. And pull your gun for your